Yeah, we had a, sorry. Hi, welcome to Noobs in Progress. My name is Nathan, and here with me I have...
Ethan Murphy, Nathan Bader's friend.
Hello,
I think you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. But
Oh yeah, everybody, yeah. I've got you unmuted. You are, levels are coming out of all orifices.
Perfect. That's how I want to be described. For my levels be coming out of all orifices.
Today we are starting our new format of us watching something and then immediately reviewing it after the fact. And so the first part is us going to be watching a thing. And Ethan, would you like to tell everybody what that thing is?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to be watching Batman versus the Ninja Turtles.
Before we hop into the movie, what are your thoughts? I'm very interested in this. I didn't even know this existed. I honestly did not know this existed.
I've actually heard from my brother that it's a great movie. I heard from other people. If you're a fan of either of these properties, it's a good movie. If you're a fan of both these properties, it's definitely a good movie. So I'm excited. I'm actually excited to see this.
Yes, I am too. Now that you've said that, that makes me really excited because I was not aware. So I'm excited. So we're about to hop right in. So and we're unmuted. We are live and unmuted. People can hear us and see us. Holy shit. We just finished watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, or Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Batman gets top billing, obviously, because he's the more bankable product. But I don't know where to begin. Like, this is, you said that your brain is melting the opposite direction of WW84. That is an extremely accurate statement because holy Christ. Oh.
The thing about it is, I'm stuttering because I love it. I love to stutter with this much glory. We came out of WW84 a little disappointed, not knowing what to think, and kind of like feeling just a little hollow and sullen. This one, you and I are pumped. You and I are like, we both had a weird week.
So how? Okay, so let's do a quick temperature of the thing. So we both know that both of us are big Batman fans, comic collectors, movies, TV shows. So like we're very knowledgeable about Batman. Now, what level of Turtle fan were you?
I only read I think one or two. Well, yeah, only one or two of the comics. I watched a digital online version. I watched a digital explanation of Ronin, that new series is out about the last turtle, essentially, which is really, really good. Outside of that, I was a huge fan of the Turtles from the cartoon series, and I saw all those movies. I haven't seen all of the iterations of the cartoon. I've seen a couple of them. I saw the original one, and then a couple other ones. Okay. But overall, I grew up. You and I believe you as well. Yeah. I was a huge fan of the Turtles when I was a kid in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, we were the perfect age for Turtles, was like right to our age group because we were born the same year, so it was just like right on us. Yeah, so I was kind of the same, big fan of the original series, like the original TV series. Didn't really pay much attention to the comic book at that time back then because I just knew the TV show, but the movies, I was big into the movies. I just really loved the Turtles. I had so many Turtle toys. I was really impressed with like they came out swinging with the Easter eggs and the references, but like you said, it was done very well. It was very well done fan service. There, like, except for there were 2 points in the movie where I was kind of like, that pushed it a little too far, and that was Cowabunga, like, and I know they were doing that as a whole, like that's the secret word that blah blah blah, but they didn't set that up well enough. Batman would never say Cowabunga, and
fair.
And then at the very end, like where he's like, it's pizza time, and then he shows the pizza and everything. Like that was a little too like. But at the same time, it was kind of like that's how one of the episodes would have ended. So
100. That's exactly how one of the episodes would end.
Really, overall, like I kind of want to get the negative out of the way so we can go. The only other time where I was like, really, was the Tyrannosaurus Rex. That was.
It's like what in the world?
That was like
so massive.
It's like, okay, so we're going for extinct animals now? Like, really?
Given that, I kind of liked the liberties they took or the attitude they took with the ooze and so it was more or less for fun. The whole romp through the Arkham was, I mean, we were laughing the entire time through Arkham.
Oh yeah.
There were some parts where we were either amazed at how, like you said, it was like The Shining.
Yeah.
In a sense. So there were some parts where you and I just was impressed at how cool it looked. Mm-hmm. Other parts we just were busting out laughing nonstop.
Oh yeah.
I think you were laughing the entire time during Poison Ivy's chamber.
Oh god, that was so funny.
It was great. I know we both just guffawed with Michelangelo. It showed Raph and Robin clearly ninja up the stairs, and Michelangelo just fall on his face. And the best part was it was like they took the time. The animation takes lots of time and effort and money. They said, let's do this. It'll last 5 seconds, and we don't care. We want to do it because we want to do it. They made a whole bit, and it's fucking perfect.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
I found it very interesting that everything they did in this, like you said, was a deliberate choice. And they, quote unquote, cut corners in some areas, but they did it in a way where it didn't harm it. Like it actually worked really well. But yet really pulled out all the stops in other areas to really elevate the entire thing. Like this was a good goddamn movie.
So your take on the movie is it was a good goddamn movie?
Yeah.
I second that, and I'll raise you. It was a great goddamn movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And I mean, it was 90 minutes, about 90 minutes, maybe a little bit more. It was an actual movie.
Yeah.
They actually had plot, had characters, had arcs. And I'm saying this because, for obvious reasons, we talked about this before. This, by far, in our opinions, is the best DC movie animated or live, in a while. They didn't have to put nearly as much time and energy and expertise into making an animated movie that's obviously straight to video sometimes. It wasn't in theaters.
Yeah.
And they did. Found a way to do it with animated movies, make them so good. Because also, the idea that Batman versus the Turtles could have easily fallen on his face, like Shredder at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse could have easily fallen on his face. And somehow, they both worked seamlessly, beautifully with all the moving parts and stuff.
But yeah, this was just so good, and the plot was good. The plot was very interesting for a cartoon like this. It fit, it worked.
Sure, it was, like you said, deft hands. It was done well. The idea, we need to find a reason for Batman and the Turtles to team up. We need to find a reason for Shredder and a villain or a couple of villains from the Gotham Batman universe to team up. And we need to get the plan. We need to have some kind of a plan that makes sense for these characters.
Yeah.
And they managed to do all these things. This at least gave Shredder and Ra's al Ghul an actual objective that they're working towards.
Yeah. I noticed that the character model for Raish is exactly the same as the animated series. Like,
from the
line for line.
The 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you looked at the animation style of Shredder and the foot, that was a little different. And they were able to get away with it. And I think they were kind of nodding to the animation styles between the two. With the Batman characters, they leaned more towards animated series, and with the Turtle characters, they leaned more towards probably the more modern version
iterations.
But like even Shredder's eyes, like his eyes were different than the eyes of all the other characters. It was very reminiscent of the original series, in my opinion. They really leaned into that, and I liked that. I thought it was done very well, blended very well.
I love all the artistic choices. This is something we touched on before during the film. And I'm calling it a film.
Yeah, it's film. Straight up film.
The
film.
The turtles all looked unique. It wasn't just a bland, kind of carbon copy template of a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell the difference between them. But they all had slightly different grain palettes. I really enjoyed just how the designs of the characters, Robin, Batman, the Turtles, Batgirl in her more recent iteration of her outfit.
I'll admit, when they went into the distraction of Arkham Asylum, I wasn't sure. I liked the fact that they were bringing in Joker because but again, I was worried. Like, okay, we have 2 bad guys already, and now we're throwing in another, and then they were like, we're throwing them all in,
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that, but it just ended up working, and it was just a shock. Like
I think the biggest thing was too is they called it out and they were aware of it. They're like, this is a distraction. The villains say your distraction didn't work. So it's almost like the writers went into it not thinking, oh, this is an amazing, huge set piece as far as we need to make sure it's amazing. They say, no, we're aware this is meant to be a very compartmentalized part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's treat it as such, not get carried away,
not
indulge, just do our own thing. However, that being said, the intros of all, and this is my notes. So, and I don't mean to keep harping on WWE 84, but there's some things they did so much better by comparison. Mm-hmm. You and I mentioned earlier, we reviewed Wonder Woman 84, how I had a problem with the reveal of Cheetah, how it was just like, literally you turn your back on her and she goes from being a human, complete human, to a bizarre humanoid cheetah thing that I can't explain. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, they did a great job, especially at the asylum, with actually having all slow reveals. They did amazing intros for all the characters.
Yeah.
Where you actually would see them in one part and wouldn't see all of them, and it kind of slow reveals who they actually are. The best one, of course, was Joker, where you just see his grin in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did slow reveals of all these villains turning into these animals or creatures. You never actually saw what they looked like when they're finally finished. This movie did such a great job of doing what Wonder Woman 84 didn't. It gave you just a snippet, it teased it, and it made the payoff that much greater. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was you've seen the Justice League movie, right? Mm-hmm. The original one that was in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that movie does is they try to make Flash obviously the comic relief.
Yeah.
I didn't think it worked that well, but whatever, it's there. There's a part where they're on where the League is on the roof with Gordon, similar to this movie, right? And there's a part where all the League leaves, like vanished, like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Flash is still sitting there. Now, the League isn't Batman. They shouldn't have all been able to vanish behind Gordon's back because they're not ninjas.
Yeah.
And then 2, when the Flash is still sitting there, the punchline and back and forth, it doesn't work. It's not that funny. Mm-hmm. And this, when all of them are there, they actually are all trained ninjas. They all do vanish. It makes sense. And then when Michelangelo's still there, that back and forth is actually genuinely funny. You and I go forward again.
Oh yeah.
That. So another example of somehow them doing an animated, straight to video, 90-minute DC movie that works better than the live action.
I must say now your note makes sense, because the first time I read your note says Flash and Gordon not work, Mikey and Gordon does, and all I could get in my head was what the hell does Flash Gordon have to do with this?
You thought Mick Packtar?
Yeah, exactly.
It was
I was like, why is it Flash Gordon? But anyway. But the one thing I noted, it was the scene where they get the machine from the Penguin and all of that. Raish, whatever. I'll stick with Raish because that's what I'll go with. The way he needled Shredder, the way he was just like berating him.
Perfect.
And he walks away. I went, that's Krang. Like that's
100% Krang. I didn't notice until you said it.
Yeah, and
100%. If you think about it, oftentimes Shredder, he's not dumb, but he's not like the most intelligent being. In a lot of ways, he is just he's a blunt object of some kind.
Yeah.
He's highly skilled and can be a great charismatic leader on some level with his men, but he's not the brain of the operation. That's what Krang is. What he is. He is very much the dragon. Brain is the mastermind. Mm-hmm. So in this case again, Roz is very much the brain. I'm sorry, Roz or Rachel, whatever you call him.
Yeah,
is very much the mastermind, and Shredder is very much the blunt object. He's a beefcake. And we haven't even touched on the fight scene between Batman and Shredder. Holy shit!
Oh god,
we'd be remiss into hell if we forgot to mention that.
That was the thing. Like if you would go back and say to the 11-year-old me, there's going to be some day where you are actually going to watch Batman and Shredder fight.
Brother.
And it's going to be everything you expect it to be.
It will literally not disappoint you at all.
Not at all. You always have to have the good guy from one property fight the bad guy from the other property and vice versa. And you always have to have it where like there's always like a power struggle and you know, usually the good guy from the one property loses the first time and then the second time. And they did that here. They did that. But I was worried that they were going to overdo it. Like I was worried that they were going to have like Batman just get smeared by Shredder. It was great. It was, I can't, like, it was literally a nerdgasm just all over my computer screen.
It was so spot on because part of what it was too is you can tell like this fight scene was directed very, if this was in a live action movie, it'd be a fantastic battle. Mm-hmm. And on some level, it's like the best fight in the actual movie. And it's, you know, with the first one. But the idea of like, these are two masters of martial arts that have trained their entire lives, dedicated their entire lives. On some level, this is the single best opponent. Part where you get to see them, because obviously a good fight scene is supposed to be like a conversation where they both do a call and response to each other at the beginning, and they both size each other up and kind of go from there. And you see them both as they lay a few moves on each other, like, oh, you're not a chump.
Yeah.
This will take effort.
Yeah.
So it's a very even fight, and I love it. I love the idea how it actually ends. It technically ends with Shredder winning, but fleeing. So they both save face. Neither of them really, was bad.
I think that fight was excellent, was done really well. And I also liked the first fight between Batman and the Turtles because they gave, because I could see it almost immediately, they gave good reasons why Batman, like despite the fact that Batman just got, housed by Shredder.
Yeah.
He was able to take the Turtles on, and it was just because they were being impulsive and just running right into it. And Batman was being focused and, whatever. And I think it worked really, really well.
Well, part of what it worked too, not to cut you off, that's the C storyline as far as the Turtles listening to Batman and actually their arc as far as growing and learning how to be a better team and how to be better fighters and everything like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think it was done really well. Just the with the Easter eggs and the story and everything, it was just great.
Very well done product.
So was there any other thing that you wanted to cover before we wrap this puppy up? Because I think I know I'm.
No, I'm almost certain that was all of it. There's maybe another note here or there, but that was pretty much it. I'm a little pissed that I rented it instead of just buying it. Now I'm gonna go back and buy it.
Yeah, I kind of wish. I wonder if Amazon does a thing where like they'll give you a discount if you rent it and then just buy it. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Probably not.
It all appears it's worth it. I should pay full price.
Yeah. I would happily pay $20 for this, which is essentially what I will end up paying by the end of all this. So I think that about does it for today. I know my nerd energy has been. I've just left it all over the floor. It's just everywhere. So thank you everybody for joining us today. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Be sure to check out other shows here on Twitch. We do Creativity in Progress we stream live on Mondays. It releases on Wednesdays. We do a writer's room there. It's fantastic. We have a couple new shows on the network to check out. The Hardest Thing You Will Ever Do, Fat Dad Scoops. You also have Loose Cannons is the name of it.
Loose Cannons, which will also be, it's not streaming on Twitch, I don't believe, but it'll be on our channel. It'll be on our YouTube channel.
Yes, it'll be on our channel. So, and also check out our Instagram and Facebook and all that fun stuff. If you go to thecipnetwork.com, you'll see all the good stuff there. It'll take you to your merch store. It'll take you to the Echelon Graphic Novels merch store. And it also has all our social medias there as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Johnny Sins!
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.